Today we are at Ponderosa RV Campground, which is a 1,000 Trails park here in Lotus, California. So I'll be reviewing this park today and giving you as much info as possible for any of you who plan on visiting this campground here in the near future. So first things first, I know this is one thing that a lot of you guys worry about. I know this is something I always look for when I'm looking at a campground. So the roads to get up here, this is up in the mountains, as you can see here. The backdrop back here, and sorry about the noise, we are on a main road, which we will cover here in a second. But the roads up here, we came west from Sacramento. The roads were actually not too bad at all, nothing too sketchy. We are in a 35-foot Class A motorhome. The only part that was a little sketchy was the drive up near El Dorado Hills, which is on the way up here from Sacramento. It is a pretty steep climb. We were going about 35 miles an hour for a few miles up the hill. But besides that, it's pretty smooth to get here. But as far as coming from the other way, I don't have much experience to tell you as far as that goes. Now, once you finally do make your way up to the park here, you gotta make sure you watch for the entrance here to the park really closely. If you're not paying attention, you will miss it, and it's really tricky to get back, to do a U-turn and get back into the park. Just ask me how I know. I actually missed a turn here and I had to do a crazy U-turn right up the street up there. Besides that, if I didn't do a U-turn, the map told me to go a few miles up the road to do like a crazy loop. There are the flags here that show the 1,000 Trails Park, and it is right next to a Gorilla Taco restaurant. So make sure you look out for that. As soon as you see the white 1,000 Trail flags, make sure you turn right into the driveway. It's kind of a curved entrance. You gotta make a right and then right away a left, and then you'll see the main gates to the campground. But it is pretty easy to miss if you're not looking for this entrance. And one really quick tip for you guys, this might help you out a lot. I know most 1,000 Trails parks are 12 p.m. check-in and 12 p.m. checkout, but I did happen to call the park the night before I made my way up here. The lady at the front did tell me that I could check in anytime after 9 a.m., which is what time the gates open. Now, if you are early bird or if you're looking to get a good spot here, which we will go over the good spots and the best spots here at the campground. If you do want to get a good spot and you're an early bird, make sure you come in right at 9 o'clock when the gates open to make sure you get yourself a good spot. And once you do check into the park, they will give you a gate code so you can come in and out of the park whenever you want. And if you are expecting visitors, keep in mind they do limit you to 10 people per site. That includes your family and any visitors you have coming down. And the day use hours for visitors are 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And they do have a $5 per vehicle fee. So any guests that are coming down, make sure you let them know there is a $5 fee to come into the park. And as far as the quiet hours go, it is 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. As far as our experience with noise, it's actually really quiet here. One weekend that we were here, there were some people up in the cabins that were really loud, probably until like 3 a.m. They had their music playing, they had their trucks running at night with their lights shining down into the campgrounds. That might be a rare occasion type of thing. I don't know. If you visited this park before, drop in the comments and let me know if you've had any experience with that type of noise from the cabins. Besides that, like I was showing you at the beginning here, we are right next to a busy road that could get pretty noisy at night. Sometimes on the weekends, you'll hear what sounds like some cars racing up and down the street, some motorcycles going up and down. So you do hear quite a bit of road noise from this main road here. Nothing too crazy, nothing that keeps you up or anything like that, but do keep in mind, if you're staying right here in the front, which is a B section, you are right next to the road, you will hear a lot of that road noise, especially at night. So now that we got that out of the way, if this is your first time visiting a 1,000 Trails park, the way it works is you go ahead and check in when you arrive at the campground. There is no assigned campsite, so you go ahead and check in. They'll let you into the park and you just drive around and look for whatever campsite you see open. Once you do find a campsite, if you're not completely happy with it, just wait until another campsite opens up. You can go drive around, walk around the park, scout some locations. The cool thing is when you check in, they give you a little sticker to put on your front of your vehicle, on the front of your RV. It has your name and the date that you're gonna leave. It is good if you do want to scout some locations. So if you do want to move from your campsite and jump to another one, definitely just look for the stickers on people's cars. just look for that date and make sure you kind of coordinate to go ahead and jump over to that campsite. Now, as far as campsites go, this specific park only has 2 sections throughout the park that have full hookups, which is sewer, electric, and water. The rest of the park is partial hookups, which is water and electric. The 2 sections that are full hookups are gonna be all of B section, which is where we're currently staying at. And then there's C6, C7, and C8. In my opinion, B section is the nicest section in the park. It has a bunch of trees. It's really, really nicely shaded. The rest of the park seems more open and a lot of sun. It gets really, really hot. So B section, not only is it really nice, it's shaded, but it does have the full hookups. I got campsite B11, which again, in my opinion, if you are gonna stay in B section, B11 is probably the best campsite in B section because it is tucked away on the corner. It does have a huge section off to the side where there's no neighbors. It does go uphill, so you're kind of blocked off. You do have that whole little section to yourself. So B11, if you can get into that one, go spy on that campsite, see when that person is going to leave, and try to get yourself into B11. Now, as far as the premium sites go, they do have 2 sections that they call their premium sites. This is an upgraded fee. This is $5 more per night that you do have to pay, even if you are a Thousand Trails member. That is located in section A and H. H section actually looks really nice. It's located right along the water, so all the RVs are parked all in a row, all the way down that whole waterfront there. Looking out your front window, you do see all the water there from the river. These sites are actually really, really nice. Now, they're not full hookups, they are partial hookups, but again, you're paying for the view right on the waterfront. And as far as the sites here, they are all gravel sites. They are pretty level. As soon as we pulled into our site over in B section, we were pretty level as it was just pulling in. We had to make a few adjustments, but nothing too crazy. And for all of you who are staying in the sites without the sewer hookups, there is a dump station at the campground here. It is on the way out, so it's a kind of a weird setup. You have to pull into the dump station and then you got to pull back around and you got to pull back into the front gate. So you have to kind of make a little circle there. There are also no trash cans at the actual campsite that you're at, but they do have a bunch of dumpsters that are spread throughout the park. They have dumpsters and they have a blue recycle bin right next to the trash can there, so it's not too far of a walk at all. As far as where we're at in the B section, there's one just a few steps away. You can go ahead and walk and dump your garbage there. And now let's get into the part that most of you guys are probably interested in, and this is going to be Wi-Fi and reception at the park. I know this is a big thing for me. I do work remotely. I need to stay connected while I'm on the road, so I need to make sure that I do have good internet connectivity. As far as cell phone reception, I have T-Mobile. I have 4 to 5 bars consistently throughout the park here. They do have a bunch of cell towers that are spread out throughout the park as well. I don't have any personal experience with Verizon, AT&T, or the other carriers, but talking to a few other people at the campground here, they pretty much have the same experience as I do with their personal carriers, which is really, really good service, 4 to 5 bars consistently throughout the park. As far as the Wi-Fi goes, they do have 2 different Wi-Fis that you can use at the park. They have the guest Wi-Fi, which is pretty much unusable. I try to download some files through it. Maybe if you want to just surf some websites or check some emails, that might work out for you. But as far as I go, I have to download large files. And that wasn't working for me at all. They do have a paid Wi-Fi that you could purchase here at the park. There is a 5 megabyte and a 10 megabyte service that you can purchase. So if worst comes to worst and you need some good Wi-Fi while you're here, keep in mind you could buy the Wi-Fi for the park. They have a daily, a weekly, and a monthly rate that you can go ahead and purchase. And as far as amenities go, here are some things that this park does offer. They do have 3 bathhouses with showers. They do have a kids playground and a dog run as well, which we will check out here in a second. They have bocce, they have horseshoes, tetherball. They do have a volleyball court as well. I did check out the volleyball court. It looks like it hasn't been used in years. The net is all sagging down, it's covered in long grass. So it looks like that thing hasn't been used in a few years at least, but it is there if you do want to use it. They do have a swimming pool. However, the swimming pool was closed while we were visiting the park, which was in mid-March. Now, one thing that they do have, which I did really enjoy, the kids really liked it as well, they do have a lodge right next to B section, basically a couple steps away from B section where we're at. Inside the lodge, they have a ping pong table, they have a pool table, they have foosball, they have a little fireplace where you can go ahead and sit around. They have a little toy room with a little library for the kids where they can check out some books in there. They do have a little lounge where you can just sit around, use the Wi-Fi as well if you want to do that. So it is a really, really nice area. It was really clean and not too busy at all. We were in there for at least like an hour. We were the only ones in there, so I'm not sure if a lot of people don't utilize this spot, but I would definitely recommend it. That lodge is actually really, really nice. They also do have 2 restrooms inside the lodge as well. As far as things that are outside the park, they do have whitewater rafting, which is available. They have one actually here on site. It is a paid service that you have to use, but they do have whitewater rafting that they do offer here, or you can drive a couple miles away. They do have another company that offers whitewater rafting as well. The ones here at the park, they do go right on this river here. And if you do have kids, one thing I would highly recommend, which we did on one of the last days that we were here, they do have the Gold Discovery Museum, which is probably a quarter mile away from the park. They go over the whole history of the gold rush here in California. More specifically here in Coloma. They do have a Junior Rangers program as well, which my kids did take a part in the Junior Rangers program. They have gold panning, they have a tour that they take you on. They have some museums with some really cool stuff in there. They have some original buildings that are still standing from back in the 1800s that were here during the gold rush. I think all in all, we spent like 36 bucks for us and our 5 boys. It's a $10 fee to go ahead and park, to use the state park there. It was $8 to go ahead and pan for gold per pan. And then we spent another $2 for a So-On Junior Ranger badge, which is optional. They do give you a sticker, but if you do want to purchase the additional So-On Junior Ranger badge, it is $2 inside the gift shop, which it's a no-brainer for me. It was a good memory for them as well. They do also give them a Junior Ranger certificate, and they go ahead and swear them in as Junior Rangers as well. So you can probably spend a full day there if you want to take advantage of that. Again, under like 30-40 bucks for a family of 7. No brainer. I would highly recommend that. If you do nothing else while you're here, definitely go ahead and check out the Gold Discovery Museum. As far as shopping and grocery stores goes, the closest one that you're going to find, the most reasonable ones, are down in Placerville, which is about a 20-mile drive. They have everything down there. They have Walmarts, they have all the gas stations, all the food. So the main place to go into town to go ahead and get all your groceries and stuff like that. Now, one really important thing I would tell you is if you need propane, they do offer it here at the park, but definitely wait until you make that Walmart trip, because down at Walmart, it was $17.97. It was like 19 bucks after tax. To fill up a 20-pound tank of propane. They do offer propane here at the park, but they charge $4.65 per gallon to go ahead and fill that tank up. So definitely do not fill your propane tanks up here at the park unless you're in a real emergency. You need some propane, but wait until you go down into town to the Walmart. And one downside is they do not have a laundromat here at the campground. So again, you do have to drive down to Placerville. We use a place called Launderland, which is a company that they do recommend, which is found inside the little booklet here. So keep that in mind. They do not have laundromat here at the campsite. As far as dining and restaurants go, again, there is that Gorilla Taco right outside the gates. In my opinion, it's really overpriced. I'll put the prices here on the screen so you can go ahead and check it out. Also, right across the street, you could go ahead and walk there. You don't even have to drive your car. You can walk right out the gates, walk right across the street. They do have a post office there if you do need to use those services. They do accept packages here at the campground. So if you are ordering from Amazon or something like that, you could get it directly shipped here to the campground and pick it up down at the check-in station. Now, as far as the dog run that we did talk about, it is located here right next to the playground. Here is a dog run right here. As you can see, it's nothing too crazy. It's just a little piece of land here, gated in with some bark on the floor. There's no like water fountain or anything like that for your dog, so do keep that in mind. Also, if you do have kids like we do, knock 2 birds out with 1 stone. Go ahead and let the kids burn some energy here at the park. This is also where they do have the tetherball court right here. They also do have a little basketball court right back here. It is a bit run down. It's just a basketball court in the middle of the gravel next to the campsites there. And one last thing I did want to talk about here is the RV friendly gas stations in the area. There is one gas station that is really close by. It is a Chevron, but it is not RV friendly at all. It's really tight to get in there. They only have, I think, 4 pumps there, so you definitely can't fit your RV in there. I was fueled up coming in here, so I haven't needed any fuel yet. But talking to the rangers here, they did tell me that Red Hot Casino is probably your best bet, which is RV friendly, meaning it is pretty spacious to get in and out of. They probably don't have the best prices, but as far as convenience goes, as far as fitting your RV in and out of there, they did tell me Red Hot Casino. Again, back down towards Placerville, another 20-minute drive. So it's best to get it on your way in. And the last thing I will leave you with, which is probably one of the most important. I know a lot of you, if you are 1,000 Trail members, you hop back and forth between the parks. Here from Ponderosa, the next closest one is Lake Minden, which is about an hour away. Now, there are 2 routes to get there. Talking to everybody and doing my research before I got to Ponderosa is to stay away from Highway 49, going up away from Ponderosa towards Auburn and going towards Lake Minden. From what I hear from everybody, that road is an absolute nightmare to go ahead and try to pull something or to drive your motorhome up through 49. So the best bet is to go back down towards Placerville, take Highway 50 all the way around. That is pretty much going to give you flat roads all the way down to Lake Minden. Stay away from Highway 49. I did talk to one of our neighbors. They didn't know anything about that. They came from Lake Minden down to Ponderosa down 49, and he said his brakes on his truck were just smoking the whole time. Their fifth wheel was like swerving into the opposite lane. So if you are going to Lake Minden after your stay here at Ponderosa, just play it safe. It might take you a little bit longer, but take Highway 50 all the way around. Do not take Highway 49 up towards Auburn. So my final verdict as far as Ponderosa RV Campground, it's definitely a park that you do want to visit. Now, let me put an asterisk here. This is my very first Thousand Trails park that I have visited. So this place did set my expectations pretty high. It's a really clean park. It's really quiet. Overall, it's a really nice park, so I would definitely recommend this if you are looking to stay somewhere in the Sacramento area. If you visited this park in the past and there's something that I missed that can help other people as well, make sure you go ahead and drop it in the comments. Hopefully this helps you out if you are coming here to Ponderosa RV Campground. Again, I highly recommend this park. Let me know your thoughts if you have stayed here as well. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys out in the next video.